Or you could definitely feel the cooler air ahead of this snowy weekend we have.
Yeah, that's part of the reason that this is really not going to be an issue of rain or
mix,
snow, which is usually what we're fighting with in southern Maine especially. It's just going to be a matter of how far north does the snow get. So we're going to talk about that in a second. Today was cold. Yeah, I mean, we only got into the 20s, most of us. 14 for high in Rangeley. Snow guns roaring there, I would guess. 21 in Berlin. 24 Bangor, these are high temperatures. So tonight it's going to be chilly, of course, but what we're focusing on is this winter storm that is approaching. Winter storm watch in effect down across the southern part of the state, back through New Hampshire. Winter storm warnings you can see on the north shore there of Massachusetts. Here's our storm down here. It doesn't look like a whole lot right now, just a cold front draped back to a low just south of Wichita there. This is all going to move off to the north and east over the next day or so and land in our lap tomorrow night and during the day on Sunday. So what we've been focusing on really since this weekend, or earlier this week at least, is how far north does that precipitation shield get? And that's the part that is going to determine this forecast, because we've got plenty of cold air in place. You can see overnight tonight into the teens and some single digits out there too. Tomorrow we start with sun, but by midday or so, we're going to be pretty clouded up. I do want to point out there's a little signal here for what we sometimes see as a prefrontal trough that happens before some nor'easters, and that could give us a little period of snow shower activity over York and Cumberland County just after sunset. That is not really the storm, just to be clear on that, but there will be some light snow that could pop up in those two counties, and then the actual system arrives between 9 and 11 o'clock in the evening, and then around midnight in through central Maine. And right once it saturates this air mass, which it is dry, once it saturates the column, it's going to accumulate immediately. It's really efficient stuff with temperatures in the mid-20s, even low 20s, so there'll be no issue with it accumulating on roadways pretty much instantly. Here we are Sunday morning, it's snowing, and the cutoff point for the heavy snow, or the moderate snow at least, seems to be around Bangor. North of there, it seems like we really drop off, and there's a lot of dry air, and there's not much moisture to be had there. It's snowing through the mid-morning, through the middle of the day, in through the coastline, and then once that low gets offshore far enough, we lose support, and these bands start breaking apart. But I do think there's still light snow and snow shower activity a little bit past sunset on Sunday. This is kind of an all-day event on Sunday, especially for southern Maine. So if you look at this map compared to where we started on Tuesday, not a whole lot of changes. If you're very perceptive, you'll notice two things. One, the 6 to 10 is bumped just a little bit north to include Bridgeton. And to be honest with you, that's just an experience thing for me. I don't remember too many times Bridgeton doesn't get in on the heavy snowfall when the low is in this type of position. And then the other thing we did is we put Bangor in 1 to 3. It was originally in 3 to 6. So I think that sharp gradient on the north end has pushed that part down a little bit. But otherwise, it's more or less what we expected on Tuesday. Now we'll see if it's what we expected all the way through. Quiet Monday, Tuesday, next storm's Wednesday. Some encouraging signs there that we're trying to get colder with this storm, which even if you don't like snow, guys, you're going to want this storm to be colder, because if there's the low back to the west, we'll have a rain and wind storm, and I don't think anybody's really here for that. So we'll keep an eye on that. It is not of the magnitude of our last storm on the 18th there of December. It's not that type of deal, but any rain and wind doesn't make people too happy nowadays. I understand. Still in recovery phase in a lot of spots. So last note, on Sunday, if you're going out to play with your kiddos or whatever, kind of a cold storm. Usually if you're in, say you're in Kittery, you're in York, you're in Wells, it's usually 30 when it's snowing. It might be 21, 22. Ooh, it's going to be much colder, so just be aware of that.
Yeah, good to know.
Keith, thank you.